Have you ever thought about how many serial killers you walked by in your life and didn't know it? Well, according to BuzzFeed, you will walk past at least 16 serial killers or murderers in your life. In high school, I did a speech on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I did a lot of research about him, and I'm quite interested in serial killers and how they think. So I'm going to inform you on serial killers, what they are, the traits that they have, and a few well-known serial killers from the U.S. Now let me explain the definition of serial killers. According to Rosewood, he states that a serial killer is defined as a person who kills 3 or more people within a month with a cooling down period between the murders. Each murder must be a separate event from one another, which are driven by pleasure or a psychological thrill. Every serial killer has their own way of killing, but they usually have some of the same traits. According to Crime Museum, it states that there are common traits between every serial killer. Antisocial behavior in children is one of them because they develop more slower. Arson is another one because it can be psychologically attractive to serial killers since it consists of manipulation of power and control, which is also something that killing offers. Torturing or killing small animals is another one. If a child is hurting a small animal and showing no remorse or any guilt, they are likely to be sociopaths. And another big one is bad childhood. So if a child had watched their parents go through a divorce or were assaulted, abused, or ever felt humiliated and helplessness, they will want to instill that feeling into their victims. Now let me introduce a few of these famous serial killers that have lived in the United States. According to this YouTube video and other sources, John Wayne Gacy was referred to as a killer clown because he worked children's birthday parties and he would murder them. He was charged with 33 murders and later killed by lethal injection. Between 1972 and 1978, he would sexually assault, torture, and murder 33 victims, and then buried them in his yard. And when he was a child, he was physically, verbally, and sexually assaulted by his dad and his family members. And he never told anyone, so he had a pretty rough childhood, and he was also always the victim of high school bullies because he had a heart condition, so he could never play any sports, and bullies picked on him for that. Jeffrey Dahmer, he was charged with 15 counts of murder, and he got killed in prison by an inmate named Christopher Staver. Between 1978 and 1991, he would lure young men into his apartment and offer to take nude photos of them and give them beer. And whenever they would be ready to leave, he would murder them and dismember their bodies and put their bodies in acid and put some of their body parts in the freezer to save later to eat them. And his last victim got away and ran to a cop and pretty much saved himself, and that's how Jeffrey got arrested. He also went through a bad childhood. His parents got divorced and he was also bullied. I've now informed you on serial killers, what they are, their traits, and some well-known serial killers in the United States. Now that you know more about them, you can be more cautious and aware of your surroundings. Thank you for listening.